This is Money Motivation to Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of all the controls in the show is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that can and will change your life. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. Okay, continuing on some of our personal growth that we've been talking about, Jason, with the leadership a couple of weeks ago, the career truths last week, and then coming on to this week's episode, which is the 12 habits that will earn you more respect. Now, before we get into that, as the viewing audience can see off of our YouTube counter there, we're over 144,000 subscribers. As of the recording of this show, 144,182. To get to our 250,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, we only need 5,800. Excuse me. No, we need less than that. 812 more subscribers by the end of April to be at our goal 150. And then the next 4 months, if when we get to 150, we would have gained 50,000 subscribers in a 4-month period. And it took us 2.5 years to get to 100,000.
Yeah.
Actually, it took us 2 years because the first 6 months of the show was just our podcast. We didn't incorporate YouTube until January the 1st of 2023. So the first 2 years, it took us to 100,000. The last 4 months has brought on almost at this moment another 50,000 subscribers, 150.
Makes me think we're doing something right.
I'm going to say that Money Motivation and Mike is getting out there, and thank you. People like what they're hearing and seeing, and our base continues to grow daily, and we appreciate that. Now, before we get on to the topic, this is from the Invest Billionaire magazine of tips, financial education tips. I'm not sure why this would be under financial education tips, because all they're doing is talking about the biggest sports leagues by revenue of 2024. Professional sports league by revenue for last year. All over the world, Jason. What league do you think had the most revenue in 2024?
Would it be FIFA?
FIFA comes in 4th place. Yeah. Which is also called the Premier League.
Okay.
Premier Soccer League. They come in 4th place at $7.1 billion in revenue. And they are one spot ahead of the National Hockey League, which comes in at $6.07 billion in revenue. And since you started on soccer, the United States Major Soccer League,
yeah,
$1.85 billion in 10th place. So worldwide soccer, especially European soccer,
yeah,
where was it? FC United and
Manchester
United, and then what's the other one? Spain, Real Madrid.
Yep.
Real Madrid. Those are the big ones.
Right.
7.1 billion last year.
I don't even know anything about soccer, but I know them.
And everybody else does too, because those two franchises we just talked about are two of the top 5 sports franchises in the world.
Yeah.
So European soccer 4th on the list, American soccer 10th.
Yeah, now, that don't surprise me.
No, it doesn't, because American soccer has a whole lot more to compete with.
Yeah. I figured soccer worldwide would be a bigger deal. Which is why it's up at 4. Yeah. But I guess the only other worldwide sport I can think of would be Formula One.
Formula One is not on the list.
Really?
Yeah. And I bet NASCAR is not even in the top 20.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're taking stands out at NASCAR races.
Well, I believe it.
And they are. All right, so back to my question.
Yeah.
So I've helped you with some things here.
Yeah, so, I mean, ruling out some of these worldwide sports, I would kind of fall back to the NFL.
The National Football League, $19.3 billion in revenue.
Yes.
In 2024.
I believe it.
The rich get richer.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in second.
Well, that would be MLB. I want to go with them. I want to say NBA, but it's one of the two. Is it right?
You said MLB. MLB is third.
Okay.
NBA
number two
is number two.
Okay.
National Basketball Association, which is very surprising to me. They're real close. They're neck and neck.
Yeah.
The NBA, $12.01 billion. All right. So football brings in $9 billion more than does basketball, $12.01 billion, and the MLB brings in $11.32 billion.
Yeah.
So they're the National Basketball Association is bringing in $700 million more in the year of 2024 than baseball. They're neck and neck.
Yeah.
All right. Now, take this. You add them two together, you're a little over $23 billion. And the NFL brought in 19.3 by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes both those sports to.
All right. And hockey's at $6 billion, $6.07 billion.
Yeah. So
the National Hockey League, the National Football League brings in two-thirds of what the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, and the Major Soccer League, the other four big sports, they bring in two-thirds of what them four combined do.
Yeah. I can believe it. I wanted to say the NFL, but I assumed with the other, Formula One, and you call it what, Premier League?
Premier Soccer League.
Yeah. So I assumed them being worldwide that they would possibly bring in more, but
the little tiger or lion emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's where we are. So anyway, there you go. They spend a lot of money in Formula One. I don't know if their revenue is that much.
Yeah,
because this is outside money.
True.
Yeah. Now
because you got those teams, they bring in sponsors. That's not necessarily the league itself,
right?
So the teams are essentially funding themselves through sponsors.
Yes, they're individually funding, is my understanding.
Yeah, they're not paying for those cars based on purse winnings.
Where when you and by the way, so's baseball, and so is hockey. I'm not sure about basketball.
Yeah.
Where in the NFL,
yeah,
you're gonna sponsor the Dallas Cowboys. Now on a local level, regional level, yes, but you're gonna be a big sponsor, Coca-Cola, Pepsi.
Yeah,
that money's going to the National Football League,
right?
And you get 1/32 of it.
The teams get 1/32 of that. Commercial revenue. Is that right?
Yes, they split the monies right down the middle, or right down 1/32.
Yeah,
and that is why Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame, because for him to make money in the the big dollars in the National Football League, he had to make everybody else the money too.
Okay.
So he couldn't go take his franchise, which he tried in the early. Remember, Nike and Pepsi and Jerry Jones and NFL were in lawsuits because Jerry was out making deals without the other 31 players.
Making it happen.
The other 31 billionaires. Yeah, they didn't like that.
I guess they were just sitting on their hands, or what?
They're sitting on their yacht.
You're right.
And then they finally got Jerry straightened out, and now they're still sitting on their yacht.
Yeah.
And that Jerry needs to call them for a little advice.
Yeah.
They'll give it out.
I guess he deserves to be in there.
Money is the rule of all evil.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in the National Football League, you would think it'd be about football.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the league. He's in the Hall of Fame because of money. Enough on that subject. Ridiculous Dallas Cowboys. Back to the matter at hand with the 12 habits that will earn you more respect. Number 1, keep your word every time. How about that? Keep your word every time.
Pretty straightforward.
Be known as someone who your word is gold. Follow through on your promises, no matter how small. If you're going to pick your kid up at 3:30, I would not be late.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, bad deal.
Yeah.
They get scarred. You forget to pick them up at practice 30 minutes late.
Yeah, nowadays they do.
They never forget. Number 2, show up early, not just on time. That's punctual. If you show up on time, you're late. That old saying.
Yeah.
Arrive 5 minutes early, if not before, and respect others' time. And that is where I get agitated with business associates, etc., who have an appointment time with you. You have an appointment time with them, and 30 minutes later, they're not even there. That is, and I can name some names right now.
Disrespectful for sure.
Extremely. Number 3. Take ownership when you mess up. Lots of people go dive under the couch. Lots of people go and point the finger at someone else when there is a mess up. You need to focus on the solutions and not the excuses. And how many times do we focus on excuses and not the solutions? You must admit your errors quickly and directly. That's my fault. I'll clean it up. Number 4 is listen first, speak second. How many people do we have that have that fault, including myself? 80% of us. Ask thoughtful follow-up questions. Listen first. Give full attention without planning your response. Then you can come back and speak second. Most people walk into the room. They want to be the room. And we always hear that the best learners are the best listeners. And those are probably the people that are not speaking first. Number 5, skip the office gossip. Skip the church gossip. Skip the club gossip. Stay out of the gossip. Refuse to speak poorly about absent people. That's a very difficult thing. I said 80% on the last question. We're at 90 plus on this question. Yeah. Or on this particular habit.
What's the old saying? If you ain't got something nice to say, don't say it at all.
Don't say it at all. And the person who said that is the first one to speak up. Number 6, say what you mean clearly. Speak simple, direct terms. How many times do you talk to someone and they try to talk over you? Say what you mean clearly, in layman's terms, as we say. Number 7, bring solutions, not just problems. Take the initiative rather than waiting for a direction on how to clean up an issue. Come prepared with ideas, not just complaints on what's not going the proper way with the club, let's say, etc. Bring solutions, not problems. Number 8, go the extra mile consistently. Look for ways to add value. Now, most people would say that's the 110%. Now, I'm not a believer in 110% because being a numbers guy, I know there's only 100%. So when you say I'm going to give 110%, that tells me you've never given 100%. You got to give 100 to give 100. You got to give 110 to give 100.
Mm-hmm.
But going the extra mile in most cases would say, hey, I'm going to give it 110% on this go round. And you're delivering your word, delivering your work will exceed the expectations of others. Most people come up a little bit short. We're a shortcut society, Jason. Number 9, make room for others to shine. It doesn't always have to be about you. You need to support your teammates and your team publicly. We've talked about some of these things in the past, and give credit genuinely and specifically to the team members that are part of your team. Make them shine. It doesn't always have to be about you. Number 10, and this one's where we really struggle. Ask for honest feedback. Constructive criticism is the start of dividing a relationship because people cannot receive constructive criticism. They request feedback on how and your input and how they can improve, but they really, Jason, do not want it because they don't take it as constructive criticism. They take it as criticism. They take it as a negative. They take it as a detriment. You're beating me down. You're knocking me down. And that all goes back to the individual who's receiving it, who is not confident in himself to realize I'm way up here. And if I would listen to this person, I could be even higher up the food chain, but we don't. Number 11, stay curious, not judgmental. Ask questions instead of assuming. Boy, that assumption word is killer. We assume so many things instead of getting the information and having a direct answer. We just assume you knew to be here. I mean, common sense would say you're supposed to be here, so we would assume you had some common sense. And that's where you get yourself in trouble. Stay curious, not judgmental. Admit when you don't know something. Admit when you don't know everything. No one, and I repeat, no one likes a know-it-all. And finally, number 12. Keep your cool under pressure. A lot of us struggle with that. And I guess pressure can be summed up and keeping your cool in different ways. Now, when it comes to business, I'm right there. When it comes to my children and my family, very emotional. Very difficult to handle. Manage emotions during difficult situations. There's not many umpires that ever cared for me, Jason. For obvious reasons.
Right.
Probably not always keep my cool under pressure. Of course, they see it one way, and the coaches usually see it another. Respond thoughtfully rather than act instantly. Keep your cool under pressure. Now, of all 12 of those, the big one to me is keeping your word every time. Now, sometimes people understand when you tell them something and it doesn't work out, that you kept your word. Today just wasn't our day. What we're talking about here with keep your word every time is that people often, I will be there to volunteer today at 5 o'clock. And that is the farthest thing from their mind at 5 o'clock. They didn't have a wreck on the way to the volunteer. They didn't have a flat. They didn't have a family emergency. They just had no interest in volunteering to start with. And that's what we're talking about here with not keeping your word. That one is a big, to me, all of them are big. But keeping your cool under pressure and keeping your word, those are big to me. So, nevertheless, there we are. What number of show are we on now, Jason? Are we, because we're what, 10 shows away from show number 156?
I think we're on like 148.
Yeah, we're coming up on 150.
Yeah.
And 156 will be our third year complete. So we're getting very close. Once again, and our numbers continue to rise and show this, just like with our watch time, Jason, over the last 28 days. We was up 103% more over the last 28 days. Thank you once again. We've had 1,737 views, Jason, in the last 48 hours. That's a lot of people checking out Money, Motivation, and Mike. You can always find us at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And obviously, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all our new content by Jason every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. please always contact us, info@mx3.vip, and also on, and help me out with this, Jason, on the YouTube, going down at the bottom and leaving notes. Is that correct?
Yeah, comments.
Comments.
Yep.
And there's one of them like signs and stuff like that down there too.
Like, subscribe, comment.
All the above.
Yes.
That brings a lot of attention to our YouTube channel. So whether you're viewing or listening, we continue to thank you as you continue to impress us with what you do on a regular basis with our show. And when I say our, I'm talking to everybody who's listening and viewing, not just Mike and Jason. Nevertheless, until next time, continue to live your life the right way.